So we're kicking off the morning with Howling Mine. This is the deck that I traveled to and opened to play in an owl costume earlier this year. So for those that aren't familiar with what this deck is trying to do, it plays cards like Howling Mine, Fever Visions, and Dictate of Kruphix to draw lots of extra cards. And then it uses things like Boomerang and Eye to Nowhere to set its opponents back on plays, as well as Exhaustion and Cryptic Command to kind of time walk combat steps. So you fill your opponent's hand up with cards and then eventually kill them with a couple of giant Runeflare Traps. Yeah, the Chalice have been there for a while. Chalice is how you try and beat things like Storm and Burn. We lost the die roll. This deck is much, much better on the play than the draw. This hand also isn't particularly good, so I'm going to mulligan. This hand's like not exciting, but it's fine. Perfect. Howling Mine's exactly what we want here. So you get to go turn 1 Howling Mine, turn 2 start boomeranging you. Morning, Stamina Dingo. You like Stubborn, Denial, and Be Said. Thought Scour, deal. In. It's called Howling Mine because if you take the H off of this card name, it's called Howling Mine. Oh yeah, I gotta reload the Stream Decker. I need to make a note to do that in the mornings. The stupid Deckmaster overlay turns it off. Alright, Stream Decker should be live. If it's not live on your side, feel free to refresh. So hopefully they pay 5 mana, or they tap both their lands and put a Delve creature into play here, and then we just like send it back from whence it came. Looks like a Delve creature. It's good for our hero. So you're saying there's a chance. That's all I need, chat. All I need is a chance. Do 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 do. They have Death Shadows here. They're probably gonna run us down. This is a matchup where Chalice of the Voids get to come in. Believe it or not. Things like Remand are not particularly good here. Sure. I wonder if I was supposed to pick this back up here to get another mine going. Seems like that's possible. That's what I was supposed to do. Hopefully they play another Delve threat here and I get to remand it. We have a Battle Rage. Not much. We've been live for 4 minutes, goalie. Game 1 match 1. I wonder how many Stubborn Denials are in their hand. Probably infinite. I'm gonna guess infinite. Love the content. Love the content, love Arena. Sad to see the crowds preferring spreadsheet. What's going on, man? Thanks for the tier 2 resub for 9 months. Welcome back. The owl suit is upstairs in a closet. Main K commanded. Sure. I mean, in a world where they don't have Stubborn Denial, we're in an okay spot. No Stubborn Denial, no Teamer Battle Rage. We're not dead to a fetch land. We are dead to Bolt plus K command. Play Release the Wind. All right, let's put some Chalice the Voids in our deck. Cut this Noxious Revival, this Owl, probably these Cryptic Commands. Just like getting Stubborn Denied kind of sucks. I don't think this is a Counterflux matchup. Have mercy! I have this. The standard format has just everything you could ever want in it. Morning, Anner. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're having a good one. Is it cold? Is it cold out east as well? There's snow on the ground out front still. I don't know if that card's good enough for Modern, Justin. Arena is good stuff. It's, yeah. I'm gonna be curious to see how Arena does, especially in terms of streaming content once, like, because people like Savitz are planning to start streaming some Artifact too. So we'll see if Arena keeps its good numbers up with competition out. Is this hand good, chat? What do you think? This one seem okay? To set a bar that's low, goalie, I think Summoner's Egg is better than this deck. Welcome to the Thunderdome. What an interesting and engaging game of Magic the Gathering. Now, I'd be very surprised if they've added Modern to Magic Arena. We'll be getting a new format in Magic, in an Arena in general, next fall most likely, but I would be pretty surprised if we ever got Modern explicitly on Arena. We cash pretty consistently with the Summoner's Egg deck. We've cashed like, I think like three or four of the leagues. I don't remember how many we have up there. We failed to cash like one, I think, and I think we cashed the rest. All right, turn 1 Serum Visions, no Thought Seize, no Hold Up Stubborn Denial. Poppy, can Poppy have a Chalice on turn 1 again? And if we don't have a Chalice, we'll like play Howling Mine. It's like no harm, no foul, but yeah, Dazer, like, I think in the short term, like, new and shiny will definitely be there. Honestly, I think there's a chance that Artifact could even be good for Magic and Arena in the long run, because if Artifact could bring people into card games in general, which could then cause them to want to go look for other things too. This is a pretty good start for us. We get to go turn 1 Howling Mine, turn 2 Dictate of Kruphix. Yeah, the technical details surrounding Artifact look really good. I'm also, from a nerd standpoint, I'm excited that Artifact's gonna have a native Linux client as well. Valve is very pro Unix. They're gonna have OS X and Linux releases. All card games are pretty hard to follow if you don't play them, though. So, like, I agree that I was having a little bit of a hard time following what's going on with Artifact, but I also, like, haven't played the game, so I think that's to be expected. Is there an argument for not turn 1 dictate? Yeah, stubborn denial. Just, like, trading 2 spirit guides. Just, like, doesn't seem particularly profitable. That's another spirit guide. Alright, so I'm just gonna play another Howling Mine here. If they want to soft stub me, I'll pitch a spirit guide. How's the morning going? We're doing pretty well. I dislike the RNG and Artifact. Yeah, that's one thing that's gonna be interesting, I think, is Artifact. So far from my understanding is that the good players in Artifact have absurd win rates, so it's probably pretty low variance, but in my experience, like, interacting with people who play Magic and Hearthstone, the places variance is placed is arguably more important for user experience than how much actual variance the game contains, if that's true. So, like, the places Artifact has chosen to put the variance in its game are, like, very in your face with, like, how the pathing works and stuff like that, whereas a majority of the variance that's shoved into Magic is in the resource system, which I guess you could argue the resource system is pretty in your face too, but it's in your face in a different way, I think. Yeah, I agree, Foxicon. I think Valve's push for Linux is based in large part for self-preservation, because they're worried that, like, Microsoft could eventually push their own, like, type store to, like, push Steam off of Windows. There's a few different how to play videos for Artifact out there right now. I think Cryptarian is his name. Cryparian. I think there's not a T in the middle. Cryparian, he's a Hearthstone dude. He has a really good how to play video. Cryparian, yeah. Well, that's rude. Alright, so there's a land. I think I just Boomerang this, right? How do you feel about Boomeranging this? No, and part of the reason why I often don't like writing sideboard guides is because as soon as you change 3 cards, people are all of a sudden like, oh no, I need a new sideboard guide. You should look at the ideas that are in the current sideboard guide and just think critically about, like, how things should be swapped around. Yeah, I'm actually planning to add, I'm planning to stream a bunch of Artifact next week, so the people who got keys from PAX and TI will be able to play and stream starting on the 19th. And I actually haven't played Artifact yet, so I'm not in their current closed beta that's NDA'd, so I am not a part of that. But I have procured a key from someone who went to PAX. So I plan to stream Artifact in addition to my Magic content next week. I will not be doing Artifact instead of Magic. I will still have my 30 hours a minimum of Magic next week, but I'm also going to add like 10 to 15 hours of Artifact, not only so I can learn how to play it, but also to gauge audience interest on my channel in potential Artifact content. Artifact is explicitly not free to play. So if they play the Engineered Explosives back out again here, I'm going to pitch Simian Spirit Guide Remand. And even if they have a Stubborn Denial for my Remand at that point, they won't be able to crack the Engineer Explosive, so I'll get to draw 2 cards next turn. Sure. Yeah, no worries. It's not that silly of an assumption, to be fair. All right, so I'm probably supposed to do this. Pass back. No, a big difference. So, Merja, the big difference that a lot of people don't understand is that the differences between casual and competitive REL. So there actually aren't that many professional REL tournaments. So professional REL is explicitly Grand Prix Day 2s and Pro Tours, whereas what's it called? Competitive REL is like most tournaments, like PPTQs and Star City Games Opens, and day one of Grand Prix. Stuff like that. Yeah. Artifact has essentially copy and pasted the MTGO model, where you have to pay for an account, and then you have to pay for all the cards that you want to play the game, and you have to pay to play limited. And there is explicitly no way to collect to get more cards in the game without spending more money. So pretty good chance we get Kolaghan's Commanded here. One of the downsides to letting your opponent draw all the cards is that if they have answers, they're pretty likely to have drawn them. So probably going to see this, like, Shatter, Shock Me, play a Death Shadow. Have we ever gone 5-0 with Owls? No, we have not. We've, like, 3-2'd a bunch. I am contractually obligated to say this deck is a hoot. Let's go ahead, Brecken. Morning. I started a bit early today because I'm hoping to squeeze in 5 decks, but we'll see how long it takes. It's hard to predict how long Modern Leagues will last. Sometimes they're 30 minutes, sometimes they're 2.5 hours. You actually most often win with Feared Visions in this deck. It's secretly the best card we have. So either our opponent is disconnected. This is the other reason you can never know how long Magic Online Leagues are going to take. Like, my opponent's taken 6 more minutes this game than I have. Is this K-Command plus Death Shadow, or is this just a Delve threat? Sure. If they don't have a K-Command or a way to destroy this, we could be okay. Even double Delve threat here, if they don't have a way to take the Chalice off the table, we can potentially kill them next turn with a Runeflare Trap. Yeah, you can sell stuff on the Steam Marketplace. That's really unfortunate. All right, so we're gonna put a stop in my opponent's draw step here. And the plan here is to draw step, cast Vision Skeins, and then hit a Runeflare Trap. And kill them with Runeflare Trap. They could also, like, have a K-Command here and just, like, have wanted to deploy threats first, which is not unreasonable. We could see, like, K-Command shatter this in response. Snapcaster, Rakdos Charm, shatter this in response, then Stubborn Denial from hand. Yeah. I didn't cast when they're tapped out because Runeflare Trap requires requires that my opponent what's it called? Requires that my opponent has drawn 3 cards this turn to cast for 1 mana. Show me Stubborn Denial. Got him! Got him! Look at that. Look at that, chat. All right. Better lucky than good. So, this is actually a combo burn deck. Yeah, Jacko Girl, you've shielded Mill really well. You convinced a bunch of people to put a bunch of points into it. I'm a little proud. Onward, onward, upward, backward, forward. Into the next one. One thing I want to make sure that I plug for people that are aware is that people who like to send in decks, I have slowed the queue again. So, despite my best efforts of streaming as much as humanly possible, we have hit 90 decks in the donation queue again. So, new decks will only be added to the queue for larger donations of 50 plus or tier 3 subs until the queue is back smaller again. Yeah, all decks are slowed. The queue's actually about 50% standard, 50% modern at this point. You are welcome to add 90 more decks. My checkbook would love for you to add 90 more decks. It is honestly the world's best problem to have as a streamer, that I have too many. The reason why I slow the queue is because I don't want people who are adding decks for just $10 to have to wait, 4 months for their deck to be played, is the thing. So, like, I could keep taking $10 donations, just, like, plan to get to them 4 months from now, but I'd rather not do that. I don't want people to have to wait that long. Yeah, you can always bump decks that are in the queue. So the things that are in there, if you'd like to see something sooner than others and it's lower, any amount of bits you donate or cheer or dollars you donate, you are welcome to bump up decks that are in there with it. Am I taking a few days off next week for Thanksgiving or no? No, I don't think so. I think my plan is to, I think I might actually, so Chrissy and I don't have plans for Thursday. So I think I might actually do an all-day stream on Thursday next week. I might take Friday off, do all day Thursday, and then take Friday off, but I'll be on a good bit, I think. Stop it. Go back from whence ye came. No, it gets too inflated, Larinax. So, like, the problem is if I give more free points to decks while they wait in the queue, then people who give actual money, their money is basically valued less because of the inflation from decks waiting. Zarin, thanks for the 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Like, I can't, if I suddenly gave everyone's decks in the queue 2 points per day, that wouldn't make the decks get played sooner. What it would actually do is just make it so all the decks in the queue would have more points in them. It just causes inflation. Because, like, I physically can't stream more than I'm currently streaming. It's just not possible. So, I think I'm supposed to jam a thing here, because I don't want them to play Snapcaster Mage and get a clock down. So I'm gonna play Fevered Vision to, like, make them play a counterspell if they have it. Whoa, do they really not have a 4th land either? Wow, that's pretty unlucky. Like, our deck has a pretty low land count, so like I'm not surprised to see us brick, but seeing them brick is pretty unfortunate for them. Their deck definitely plays way more lands than ours does. I'm not like super surprised to see a bunch of counterspells here, because like they don't have land, so like obviously their hand is spells, right? So the reason why you have Spirit Guides in this deck is because look at this game here. This game's a great example of why Spirit Guide is good in this deck. This is a deck that tends to have a lot of cards, and mana is often its bottleneck. So being able to play your mana out faster is generally a good thing for the deck. All right, 3rd time's the charm, right? I definitely want to just jam this here because I know they have a Snapcaster Mage in their hand. So like I'd prefer to not get Snapcaster Mage negated. What's going on towards in? Hope you're having a good one. Sure. This is gonna Snap Bolt me. Yeah, Spirit Guide lets you do stuff like Cascade Bluffs Boomerang, for sure. Oh, I have to discard. That's sad. It's probably Noxious Revival here. Yeah, probably that one. Someone asked if this deck's expensive. Magic decks are expensive. That includes this one. So that's pretty decent for us. So I'll get to... Maybe discarding the Noxious was wrong. So I'll get to go ahead and Exhaustion my opponent here. And then pitch Spirit Guide, replay Fevered Visions. Yeah, so like, if I would have... If I would have kept the Noxious Revival, I could Exhaustion them guaranteed this turn instead of one of these Boomerangs. JK. JK, LOL. Never didn't have it. Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, my opponent. Do 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 do. So draw a step here. I don't let them draw a card. We're gonna cast Vision Skeins. And if they don't have a counterspell for this, we'll kill them with Runeflare Trap. Sha. Welcome to Thunderdome, opponent. Enjoy your stay. Mm. 1-0. 1-0 and up a game, chat. 1-0 and up a game, chat. Alright, I'm gonna board out. I think I board out the Eye of Nowheres on the draw. I definitely want my Counterfluxes. I think I want Nimble Obstructionist in this matchup. I don't know, I guess they have a bunch of red removal, which means they're gonna be able to kill Nimble. Eye is actually pretty good against a control deck, if things line up well for us. Will we get the costume at 3-0, baby? It's reserved for how glad it's going on, JW. That's what I like to hear. 3 monitors is great. Whenever I have to stream from, when I stream from the system upstairs on Wednesday night, so tonight, it only has 2 monitors. It feels like it's so awkward. I have to like cram a bunch of stuff on my second screen. This deck actually has a pretty good Tron matchup in my experience. Boomerang is really good against them. I keep this. It's like not amazing, but it's fine. It's a shame I don't have a Cascade Bluffs, because I'd totally boomerang this Celestial Colonnade on one. This hand is not panning out. All right, pick it up. Sure. All right. 2-2 beats, chat. 2-2 beats. I'm getting a lightning helix here. Poor little gray ogre never stood a chance. Poor little gray ogre. He was so young, chat. He was so young. I probably should have mulliganed this hand that didn't have any howling effects in the opener. Alright, we've cast Healing Salve twice. Can't quite say I'm upset. Cryptic Command, your Simian Spirit Guide. Yep. That's not good for us. That means that they probably have a lot more counterspells in their hand. Yeah, so the problem with trying to Blood Moon in this deck is your plan is to make your opponent draw infinite cards. So, like, when you're making your opponent draw infinite cards, they're, like, pretty likely to find their basics. Which spell? I'm probably dead at this point. I guess the Exhaustions might let us steal it. Hey, thanks, Cobalt. Yeah, I'd be happy to bump that. Show support. So I'm remanding my Exhaustion here, so that way I get to keep my Exhaustion and draw a card, which I think is fine. I don't know, I guess they get to activate their Azcanta this turn now. It's very possible I should just, like, let that resolve and then, like, play my second copy of Exhaustion. They have Snapcaster Mage here, I'm dead. Yeah. Let's, just keep a hand that does something for the second game, ideally. I want this Eye of Nowhere on the play for sure. Just doesn't do anything. We're not here to mulligan turn one Howling Mine. I'm gonna bottom that because this hand needs lands. Alright. Your move. Man, I wasn't even greedy and we missed. What a tilt. If I was like greedy and kept the second Howling Mine, it'd have been like, okay, we missed, but it's a little sad. It's a real shame we didn't hit a second land because we'd have been able to boomerang their steam vents there and just like bury them in the ground. And they have a wear tear for the Howling Mine. I'm gonna move on with my life. Nope. All right. That's magic. I'll take one more draw step before I concede. All right. Okay. We're probably too far behind at this point. Like, these Eye of Nowheres aren't time walks anymore. Like, if we would have had the Eye of Nowhere or the Boomerang on turn 2 or 3, it probably would have been a time walk. But, like, here on turn 4, we're just gonna like, Snap Bolt us in response here and then beat us to death. At least we have hats. Yep. Okay, hit another land here. Do I want to discard to hand size? I really don't. No, they didn't miss a land drop. I returned a land to their hand with Boomerang. Big difference. Yeah, I'm going to concede. So, if we hit our second land by turn 3, we would have gotten to play a game of Magic there, but we didn't, so we didn't. That's just how the game goes sometimes. Onward, upward, backward, forward. Man, we're really bad at winning die rolls with this deck. Yeah, that matchup's pretty good on average. They just don't kill you. You just get to, like, do your thing. Uh-oh, Tron. Dub's Boomerang is pretty okay here. And again, just, like, night and day game, just incredibly different if we're on the play. Yeah, this deck really needs the die roll. I agree. And then we're hoping to draw. And again, like, the part of the problem with sitting here boomeranging is that the Gemstone Caverns just isn't consistent. Just not a card that's consistent enough to do anything. Gore, thank you for the $3 donation. I appreciate it. Recent events. I booked Green Red Dinos in the queue about 2 weeks ago. Ended up buying the deck on Arena and it's clunky and inconsistent. So if you wanted to change Green Red to the Sweet Gen list from yesterday, you can put this towards that. Will do. Thank you for the support. Yeah, and unfortunately, like, we're just, like, gonna have been too far behind from just, like, sitting here not doing anything. Like, if we would have been able to get, like, Fevered Visions down before we started annoying them, we could have potentially won this game, but because we didn't do that, we're just probably dead. I guess I can put a stop on my upkeep here to dictate before I draw. Maybe hit land plus another Boomerang. But we're already through 3 Boomerangs, like that's kind of unlikely. Land. God, we're bad at drawing lands. We drew a card that's useless because of the relic. If we'd hit a land there, the Remand would have been very good this turn. I'm gonna concede to a card. Yay, magic. What's going on, Pikes? At least we'll always have that first match together today. Alright, I'm gonna trim Noxious Revival. I'm gonna bring in these Counterfluxes. It's an Exhaustion matchup. Might not be. I feel like Nimble's probably pretty good here. Yeah, we lost the control deck. We never drew a second land. Or we took us till turn 4 to draw a second land. The problem with Exhaustion in this matchup is that once they have a turn with their lands, they probably kill us. No, I don't think this is a very good Chalice matchup. We just don't really care about their ones. Ass hands. This is our nut draw, chat. What are the decks this wants to play against? I don't know. Decks that don't do anything. Decks not full of 1-mana spells. If your early Boomerangs can be time walks, that's the goal of the deck, basically. So the idea is to get like a mine effect into play, so you get to start drawing 2 cards per turn, and then you use cards like Boomerang and Remand to keep your opponent off of playing their spells, and then eventually you combo kill them with Runeflare Traps. This deck's actually pretty good against Ad Nauseam too. Yeah, decks that need to get a lot of mana going, this deck is generally pretty reasonable against. So Tron's actually not a terrible matchup. It's just this deck is like night and day, like die roll 1 versus not die roll 1. Like you're probably like 20 to 30% worse on the draw in most matches. If I had to make up a number. Wow, rude. Pick it up. Maybe I do want Chalice. A bunch of Nature's Claims. This is how Magic goes. No, Runeflare Trap costs a mana to activate. I'm gonna concede to a card here. Just move along with our life. Yeah, the Jund matchup's not bad if you're on the play. If they only have like a Wormcoil here, we could be fine. Yeah, that's why we concede and move on, Cobalt. It's okay. Modern's a format where regardless of how good your deck is, there are a lot of very miserable matches of Magic. That's why we concede a lot on this stream when we play Modern. It's okay. You have some sweet ones in the middle. It's okay to acknowledge the format for what it is and skip the bad matchups and play the good ones. I mean, Draven, there's like 3 dozen decks in Standard right now too, and none of them have the matches like we have in Modern. If I made any decisions for a standard deck at a CGCon, I'm probably just going to play Pirates. It's the deck I like playing. Alright, we're going to play the 5th match. We'll be on our way. Burn's unwinnable, in case anybody's wondering. In case anyone was wondering, when people asked what the winnable matchups were, what the good matchups were, the ones where they don't have a bunch of 1-mana spells are the ones that are winnable. I don't know if this archetype strictly has good matchups, but it has matchups that are less bad. Inspiring Vantage makes it incredibly unlikely that it is not Burn. You have to click the X in the corner of your league window. So if you notice when I use the concede match option, I have to reopen the league window. Okie doke. That seems good. Give me a matchup that's winnable. Play a Raging Ravine or a Treetop Village on 1. Cavern of Souls. Humans is hard but not unwinnable. Hard but not unwinnable. Game one stuff. Post board I have a bunch of sweepers. Let's see if they have another 1-drop, we could be in trouble. C unit, all hail the mighty dictator of Hoaglandia. What's going on? Thanks for 11 months. Welcome back. Will you pray for my soul? Oh, Justin. No 1-drop is great for us. No second 1-drop. So we'll get to go ahead and dictate here, and then we'll probably exhaustion them next turn, assuming we don't get we don't get, what's it called? We don't get Kite Sail Freebooted. Do I even need to exhaustion this turn? Maybe I don't. Maybe it's just like a Remand plus Vision Skeins turn and wait for them to attack with both their things. Are we dead to Meddling Mage on Trap? No, I've got Boomerangs and Cryptic Commands and stuff like that to send the Meddling Mage back to their hand. You can also technically kill them with fewer visions. If we draw a Boomerang effect here, I'll probably send a land back to their hand and then plan to Vision Skeins. Yeah, Remand still draws a card, though. Remand doesn't have to counter the spell to draw a card. It's one of the reasons why Remand has a very high floor. Even when it doesn't do what you want it to do, it still replaces itself. I can't tell if I get more done at work when you're not on because I can focus, or less done because I'm bored and waiting for you to start. What's going on, Gengar? Thanks for the 5 months. Welcome back. Second exhaustion. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Probably saves me some damages. Lets me fetch a Steam Vents tapped here. Howdy, Demir. Alright, no play this turn. If I exhaustion again, I can likely remand whatever their play is next turn, which is nice. And they're at 7 cards in their hand tier, so like we're getting to a point where if I like draw a couple of Runeflare Traps, I could just kill them with Vision Skeins during their draw step, which is nice. So I think I want to Exhaustion proactively here so I can try and make that happen. Second red source is all I really need, so the Scalding Tarn can grab a basic island next turn. My opponent's taking 10 to 15 seconds at every point of interaction because that's how people on Magic Online play. The rate of play on Magic Online is glacial compared to the rate of play on Arena. It's very, very slow. Alright, you look a little tired over there, friendo. I don't know, they don't know how to press the F6 button. 31 months, we're getting so old. What's going on, Marty? Welcome back. Thank you for your power clipping and your absurd sub gifts. You tested Ancestral Visions in this deck. What does Ancestral Visions do? What problem does it solve? Why am I interested in playing that card? The timer function in Arena is A+. One of the biggest advantages that application has over playing Magic Online. Nope. Let's put that one back where it came from. Oh, would you look at that one, chat? You think we could just like register 8 exhaustions in this deck? Anybody would ever notice? No, I think this current standard format is the best format of Magic I've ever played. It is very, very good. Just like incredibly so. I'm gonna Vision Skeins during their draw step because that way if we hit a Runeflare Trap, we can give them the old 11 ball. Sure. So I'm going to stop on my upkeep here and play Dictate of Kruphix, and then we'll be able to Exhaustion them again. Sure. Right, this is if this deck's ever going to beat Humans Game 1, this is definitely what a draw that could beat Humans Game 1 looks like. It's just like quads Exhaustion. That's like technically another time walk too. It's going to make my opponent miss a combat step, which is nice. Yeah, Boomerang Remand, quad Exhaustion, just like, enjoy. Part of me really hopes we draw our Noxious Revival here so that we can Exhaustion them a 5th time. It's actually why the Noxious Revival is in the deck. So it can be like a 5th copy of Exhaustion. It's like a 5th, it's like the Noxious Revival in this deck is like a split card. It's like extra Noxious Revival / or extra Exhaustion / extra Runeflare Trap. Alright, so I'm playing this. I have 8 mana. 8 mana means that if I want to play Fevered Visions, I won't be able to Cryptic Command through Athalia, but that's like probably fine, right? So I think I want to play this. I can just Cryptic, can Cryptic during their, in response to Athalia. Well, I can't counter the Thalia. There's a Cavern of Souls. There's this incredibly well-designed and balanced Magic card, Cavern of Souls. It's like borderline offensive when you put... Oh, I can Cryptic Command. I totally can Cryptic. It's 5. I'm dumb. I'm like staring at my lands here. Hogland can't count, chat. It's a big problem. Cavern has a deck building restriction, right? Let's do the time warp again. And it's just like Like, we've had all of our exhaustions this game, but, like, we literally just haven't drawn a Runeflare Trap in 28 cards. Haven't found our card that, like, actually kills them yet. Alright, so do I want to Boomerang this Thalia? I have 9 cards in my hand. I probably want to Boomerang this Thalia, right? Yes, if I Boomerang the Thalia, I can play this Howling Mine as well. And then it looks like I'm not going to be able to cast Cryptic Command through Thalia, but I'll be able to do that thanks to Simian Spirit Guide. What's the grammatical error there? I'm not seeing it. How do we win? Eventually, we draw 2 copies of Runeflare Trap and just, like, dome them for 1,000,000. Jeff, we need mission briefings for card selection and more exhaustion. Maybe. Maybe. If they're smart, they'll take the Vision Skeins here. I just have, like, multiple Kitesail freebooters here. They've actually discarded 2 Kitesail freebooters, so, like... Nah, I don't think so, Cinnabar. I think I'd rather save the Spirit Guides for later. Yeah, basically, 90% of the people that play on Magic Online are incredibly slow. I'm like reading messages and doing other things while I stream here, and like I am consistently up 5 to 10 minutes on clock on all my Magic Online opponents. Like, people refuse to use hotkeys. All right, they're down to 16. I've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need to draw 2 copies of Runeflare Trap, or a Runeflare Trap and a Noxious Revival in 5 draws. 7 draws and 7 draws. Alright, there's one. There's a Boomerang. Put that one back from where it came from. I think I just pass, right? Is there any reason to play anything else out? I guess I can play Fevered Visions here, and that gives me another draw. Right? Because I can still... Yeah, I can still Vision Skeins plus double trap. Need a second trap. Noxious Revival doesn't do it, right? Oh, it does do it. It does. So I get to pass here. I'm gonna discard this Howling Mine. So I get to Have this happen. They draw these cards. After they draw all these cards, I trap them, then I Noxious Revival, the Runeflare Trap, Vision Skeins, trap them again. Okay, so they're dead. Burn players just salivate. Look at this, one mana, 12 damage. You wish your burn spells were that good, burn players. All right, one trap in 40 cards, but that's okay. It was enough. Just casual 26U, NBD. What if we did this? Easy game, easy life. All right, so all of these come in. I know where it comes out. This seems fine. Let's do it. They can have Leyline and Sancties in the sideboard. That is incredibly unlikely. This is match 5. Last one with the mines. Yeah, correct. We've got boomerangs and stuff. Fairies is my favorite archetype. That's just close enough to not being modern playable, to not being fully powered. We do well with it consistently, but if it's just like if fairies had a Mausoleum Wanderer, that deck would be very, very good. I probably can't beat Athalia here. I guess it depends on how much aggression they have to follow it, but that's incredibly good. Humans is in the 1-3 bracket because this is modern and everything can end up in the 1-3 bracket. Sure. Fairies doesn't need Lords to be playable. Scion of Una is pseudo playable. Fairies just needs Fairies needs a playable 1-mana fairy. So when you're on the play, you can go turn 1 fairy, turn 2 Spellstutter Sprite your 2-drop. Yeah, Mistbind Click is very, very good. I guess I can draw Anger of the Gods and kill them here, but things are not looking good for our hero chat. Yeah, I agree with that cooldown, Max. Yeah, Miscreant's not playable. You know what would be a really sweet design for fairies? I wish they would print a blackmail fairy. A blackmail fairy that's similar to Spellstutter Sprite. Could you imagine this? 1 mana, 1/1 flyer for 1 black. When it comes into play, your opponent reveals a number of cards from their hand equal to the number of fairies you control. You choose one of those cards and discard it. That's probably too good. I don't know, that'd be pushed. That's modern playable. No, you would let your opponent choose what to reveal, Jackal Girl. So you would only get a land out of them if they chose to show you a land. So turn 1, it would just be a flying Ravenous Rat, which is probably too good. I don't know, Ravenous Rat's effects aren't that good. This is awkward. It's I want to play this in response, but not they get to take my anger. There was an anger on top of my deck. So should I have just waited? I don't know. Yeah, I agree, Pikes. Exactly. Like, in the late game, that effect is less powerful. But, like, that's a card that scales as the game goes long, but at the same time, that effect is worse in the late game. Alright. Got four sweepers to draw here. I mean... Alright. I'll take redraws for 100. I couldn't help but notice you said this is the last Howling Mine game. Put this towards Howling Mine with mission briefing. I don't know about that. Maybe. I don't know that I don't think mission briefing really solves this deck's problems, Justin. So the problem with mission briefing is that it fixes issues once you're already winning. But like if you're already winning, you should be seeing a lot of cards. So I'm not sure that I really think that that's an issue you need to solve. Seems really good. Basic Island Mine go. Got the Exhaustion too. Yeah, there were a couple of decks playing Disinformation Campaign that were good, that were decent. They weren't on the full 4, which probably makes sense considering how aggressive a lot of the decks in the format are. What if it was a dice trigger instead of the enter the battlefield trigger? Nah, I think just like templating with Blackmail would be fine. Honestly, Curse Catcher would be okay too. Just like, they've obviously printed Curse Catcher in like multiple different times, right? Just like, Judge's Familiar for blue and a fairy would make fairies very, very reasonable. And like, Kitetail Freebooter like really doesn't matter here because I'm gonna see a bunch more cards next turn. Perfect. That's true. Judge is Familiar is a two-time Pro Tour champion. I think Teferi's very good. Unless you're talking about Modern, and then you shouldn't play either. Don't play Control Decks in Modern, you'll be sad. Alright, those lands do not cast Mantis Rider, so that's nice. Am I getting Meddling Mage? We're getting Kitetail Freebooter, sure. Oh, I forgot about Noble Hierarch. They have Noble Hierarch, yep. I said they're, to be fair, I said their lands don't cast Mantis Rider, which is technically correct. This is probably going to name Anger of the Gods, I'd imagine. It's like double insulate. I'm drawing a lot of cards. I feel like if they're smart here, they're gonna name Anger of the Gods. They could also assume that I like don't have 4. Noxious Revival, sure. All right, so we've got 4 draws at 4 draws to clean the board. Deal, Justin. Sultai Control Deck is great. That could give us lethal. If we draw another Runeflare Trap here, we could also kill them. Anger of the Gods, that'll do pig. That'll do pig, that'll do. Because this anger is like buy one, get one free. It like gives us an anger and an exhaustion back. I think I was very greedy on my opponent's part to not just cast a thing there. Am I supposed to trap them on their draw step? I think so here. They're going to have 9 cards in their hand, and even if they violin 2, they're going to have 2. Draw step into me, Ashiok. 2016, thank you for the 13 months. Welcome back, I appreciate that. Silly opponent, you've activated my trap card. Yeah, exactly. It sets us up to be lethal with the Noxious Revival next turn, potentially. And, like, they know about this second anger here at this point. They know about Exhaustion as well, though. It's a shame Exhaustion doesn't affect Aether Vials. Aether Vials ain't tired, they're artifacts. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to break into Magic Online content if you don't know. If you can see the name of the card, you can type ! card name in chat to get the card text. They named Runeflare Trap, okay? It's probably smart considering it's the card that kills them. Godok Teague, sure. It's a Mantis Rider? Or like a Sin Collector? Just a Mantis Rider, okay. And I mean, like, I guess they're drawing a bunch of cards every turn. They must have forgotten about the other anger we got back. Put this one back on top of my deck here. Yeah, having Teague and naming Trap also seems very suspect. So I can't, for those that are wondering, I can't Vision Skeins right now and kill them. 1, because they only have 4 cards in their hand. 2, because they need to draw 3 cards to activate the alt text on Runeflare Trap. No, I want to just kill them with Runeflare Trap this turn. Yeah, Vial's pretty okay against us. So even if they violin 2 things here, they're dead. Runeflare Trap requires you draw 2 cards. Your opponent's drawn 3 cards, sorry. So just Vision Skeins doesn't activate Runeflare Trap's alternate casting cost. They could have Night of Autumn, that's true. I believe Kite Sail's templated for opponents only. Yeah, Kite Sail's templated for opponents only. Skeins might, like, actually be modern playable if it made both people draw 3. Come on, opponent, just die. Half this league has been waiting for people to hit okay so they die. Look at that, chat. Look at that. We beat Grixis, Death Shadow, and humans. Obviously, deck's busted. if you're interested in making people draw a lot of cards, and if you win a lot of die rolls, you can win an okay number of matches with this deck. Again, the key for people that haven't seen this before, basically what you want to do is, if you're on the play, you could Boomerang an eye to know where your opponent's lands back to their hand while drawing extra cards with things like Howling Mine and Fevered Vision, and then eventually you combo kill them with Runeflare Trap like we did there a couple of times. Alright. Up next, we